this old scissor lift. Monster of a scissor lift. It's got a dance floor up here. Low hours. It's so low there's not even any numbers for the lows. I'm going to try to get this running. Maybe say that this is a better tire than the tires that are on. Alright, well, you can hear the truck running over there. And cranks. So, what do you need to start a combustion engine? You need fuel, compression, and spark. So let's see if we got fuel. There's some fuel. Now this one, I believe it was this one. This one had a couple of the plug wires off of the spark plugs on the opposite side there, so that tells me it's probably not going to start. Now it's got this switch on here going the coil. Let's turn that on. All right. So we'll have to check for spark next. Well, a bit of an update on the scissor lift. The old beat up scissor lift. Did I make it run? After quite a bit of work, I did make it run. Wish I could have recorded that. It was a lot of struggle. I had fuel leaks. My carburetor float wasn't set right. And so I took the carburetor off and replaced it with the carburetor on the other unit. And it didn't help any. So then I reset the float, checked the float valve. It was still nice and soft. Cleaned the jets out, but they weren't varnished up. I did some spark checks and I ended up having spark. I did a compression test, and this number 2 cylinder here in the front was about 18 psi lower than the rest of them. I was having some problems also. Someone has put a manual power switch on for the electric fuel pump. I don't think this is original, but it's on both units, so maybe it is an original thing. The switch was dirty. It wasn't making contact, so I swiped the one off of the other unit. The oil in it, I think I'd mentioned in the other video, was very clean. It was about a half quart low, but it looked like brand new, like they had just changed the oil, so that had me a little bit disturbed. Now this is a dual fuel unit, and it will run off propane, and I fooled around with it for a long time, and it wasn't getting any power. It would run, and it was running rough. It sounded like it was missing out, and I could switch from propane to, I put some gasoline in there, and it's in the fuel tank. And of course I threw a lithium battery on there to get some juice to it on its own. Ultimately, this is the weird thing, and if you know why this would be, you tell me. Because most of the, if I Google it, most of the things I saw on this engine, and this is a Wisconsin VH4D 4-cylinder, obviously, 4 plugs here. Everything was fuel related, And so I fooled around with that carburetor, switched it, rebuilt one, readjusted, switched it out, blah, blah, blah. But I kept having that problem where it would run for about 5 minutes and die. Ultimately, I did find some interesting, I don't know how I ran across it. AI is so useless on this kind of stuff. But it was on the valve lash, and that was the last thing I could think of, was there's something wrong in the valve lash. And so if you take the carburetor off, you can get to the valves adjustments, the tappet adjustments down here. There's 4 covers, one on each cylinder, and they were all real tight. And I don't know. So if you know the answer to this, put it in the comments down below. If an engine just wears, if it's from wear, they would get looser, but they were all super tight. So the guy on the video I looked at, he said you need 8 thousandths on the intake valves and 16 thousandths on the exhaust valves. And I had to back them out, all 4 of them out. But this one that was low compression on this number 2 cylinder, I had to back that one out a whole lot. And I cannot, for the life of me, I still can't imagine how they tightened up, because it's kind of a interference adjustment. You hold the I guess you hold the lifter and then you tighten up the nut, but it's hard to tighten. It doesn't seem like it could turn on its own. So and there was, gosh, there was a 1/4 inch of dust and gunk and crap on here. So I know at one time this guy used these, and obviously he used them a lot after. If anyone was ever in the valve adjustments, he used them a lot after that, because it just had all that crap on it. So I know it's been ages since anybody had been in that valve train, but once I loosen those up, this thing purrs like a kitten. Let me get you a little. So I got my controller here. Oh, better turn the ignition on. But this is I think a late 80s model lift. But yeah, so it's running great. Once I got that engine sorted out, then I was able to move, because it would, even when I started it up fresh and cold, as soon as I put it under any kind of a load, it would try to die within a minute or so. And I thought it was a fuel problem for the longest time. Anyway, my hydraulic fluid level's good, looks clean. I'll eventually change that out. I greased up all these grease points on the lift hinges, and I've taken the rails off. And now I'm taking this flooring off, and I thought this was a factory job, but it looks like they've done a 3/4 inch overlay on another set of floor underneath there. And they've screwed this all on. Most of these screws are breaking off and rusted up, but some of them are coming out. And this wood is wet. It's been raining, oddly enough, here in the desert for the last couple days, so this plywood is just soaking wet and heavy. And so anyway, I'm tearing off this deck, and we'll get down to underneath it and we'll take another look. That's where we're at today, getting this decking off to see if we can make that part of things nicer.